Ethan Miller stepped off the starship onto the alien planet with a mix of excitement and caution. He had traveled many light years from Earth to serve as a human diplomat and engineer. The planet's sky was a deep violet, with two suns casting a strange, soft light over the silver cities that stretched across the landscape. Towering structures glowed with a faint bioluminescence, and strange plants swayed in a gentle wind that carried scents unlike anything Ethan had known. He was here on an important mission. The alien civilization that ruled this world faced a serious energy problem. Their cities were powered by a rare crystal, but it had begun to lose its effectiveness. The elders believed that a human engineer could help them find a solution. Ethan felt the weight of the task. Humans were new here, and many aliens did not trust them. They saw humans as fragile and unpredictable, but Ethan had always believed that humans were capable of more than most species realized. A tall figure approached him. She moved gracefully, even without sight. Ethan realized she was blind. Her hair was silver, flowing down her back like liquid metal. Her skin had a soft golden hue, and she wore robes that shimmered with the light of the twin suns. This was Queen Leora, the monarch of the planet. Even without her eyes, she exuded a quiet power that made Ethan feel both nervous and honored. "Welcome, human," she said. Her voice was calm but firm. "I am Queen Leora. I have heard of your skill and courage. The Council believes you may help us. I hope you will prove them right." Ethan bowed slightly. "Thank you, Your Majesty. I am honored to be here. I will do my best." Leora studied him, her face calm. "Do you understand our ways? Our customs may be strange to you, but you must respect them." "I will," Ethan said. He noticed how she seemed to sense his presence, even though she could not see. Her awareness was extraordinary. They walked together through the palace gardens. Bioluminescent plants lit their path, and strange creatures moved quietly among the foliage. Ethan could hear the faint hum of the city in the distance. He was amazed by the beauty and the alien nature of everything around him. "I have been told you are clever with machines and energy systems," Leora said. "Our energy crystals are failing. Many of our engineers have tried to fix them, but none have succeeded. I hope you can." "I will study them," Ethan said. "I need to understand how they work. Then I can see if there is a solution." Leora nodded. "You may have more freedom than others. I will allow you to work closely with my council. But remember, trust is earned here. Not everyone welcomes a human." Ethan understood. He had faced prejudice before, but this was different. These aliens had lived for thousands of years, and humans were new to their world. To earn their respect, he would have to do more than just fix their crystals. He would have to show that humans could be brave, smart, and reliable. The next day, Ethan was introduced to the council. They were a mix of tall, graceful aliens, each with a presence that seemed to fill the room. They looked at him carefully. He noticed the skepticism in their eyes. Some whispered quietly to one another, clearly doubting that a human could solve their problems. Ethan began his work immediately. He studied the energy crystals, observing how they were arranged in the city's power grids. He noticed patterns the alien engineers had missed. Humans had a way of thinking differently, of approaching problems in ways others might not expect. Ethan took notes and made calculations. He designed a small device to test his ideas, explaining each step to the council. Some of them frowned, unsure about his methods. But Queen Leora watched quietly, her expression unreadable. Days passed, and Ethan worked tirelessly. He repaired and tested the crystals, experimenting carefully. Each success was small but meaningful. He began to understand the flaws that had stumped the alien engineers. He realized that the crystals needed a small adjustment in their alignment, combined with a human-designed stabilizer to enhance their energy flow. One evening, as the twin suns set and the sky turned dark violet, Ethan returned to the palace gardens to rest. He felt a presence behind him. Queen Leora had come to check on him. "You work long hours," she said softly. "You do not seem tired." "I am tired," Ethan admitted with a small smile. "But this is important. Your people depend on this energy. I cannot rest until I help." Leora smiled faintly. "Your determination is unusual for a human. Most would give up or complain. You continue, despite difficulties. That is admirable." Ethan looked at her. "I believe humans are capable of great things. Sometimes we just need a chance." Leora nodded. "I will remember that. You may be different from what my people expected. You may surprise us all." Ethan felt a strange sense of respect and connection with her. He had met rulers before, but none like Leora. She was blind, yet her perception of the world seemed sharper than anyone he had known. She could sense truth, intentions, and skill with an almost magical ability. He felt that if he could earn her trust, he could achieve great things. Over the next week, Ethan made steady progress. He presented his ideas to the council, showing how the stabilizer could improve the energy output of the crystals. Some council members were skeptical, but the results spoke for themselves. The energy flow improved, lights in the city glowed brighter, and systems that had been failing for months came back online. The council could no longer deny his skill. They began to treat him with cautious respect. Even the whispers of doubt faded. Ethan had proven that humans, though physically weaker than many aliens, had ingenuity and creativity that could rival even the oldest civilizations. One night, as he worked late in the laboratory, Leora appeared again. "You have done well," she said. "The council speaks highly of you now. But more than that, you have shown qualities I value: courage, intelligence, and honesty." Ethan looked up at her. "Thank you, Your Majesty. It means a lot coming from you. I only want to help." Leora paused, her expression thoughtful. "Most humans are unpredictable. They think only of themselves. But you think of others. That is rare. Perhaps there is more to humanity than I imagined." Ethan smiled. "I hope so. We may be new to your world, but we want to learn, to help, and to grow." For the first time, Leora allowed herself a small, genuine smile. "Perhaps we will learn from each other." Ethan felt a flicker of hope. He knew the journey ahead would not be easy. There were still many challenges, both in the palace and in the cities, and some people would never accept him. But he also knew that humans had a unique strength, the ability to adapt, to think, and to act in ways that others could not anticipate. As he prepared to leave the laboratory that night, Leora's words stayed with him. "Perhaps we will learn from each other." He realized that this mission was not just about repairing crystals. It was about building trust between species, showing that humans could rise to challenges no one expected them to face. Ethan looked out at the glowing city below. Lights sparkled in every direction, powered by the crystals he had helped stabilize. It was a beautiful sight. And he felt proud, but more importantly, he felt determined. He would not just be a visitor here. He would become a part of this world, earn respect, and show that humanity had a place among the stars. And he had a feeling that Queen Leora, the blind alien monarch, would watch every step he took, and perhaps be surprised by what he could accomplish. The night air was quiet, but full of possibilities. Ethan took a deep breath and stepped forward, ready to face whatever challenges came next. He did not yet know the full extent of the journey ahead, but he knew one thing: humans could achieve more than most believed, and he was about to prove it. Ethan woke early that morning, the violet sky still dim from the twin suns rising. He had spent the night reviewing the city's energy grid and the notes he had made on the crystal stabilizers. Today, he would present his final plan to Queen Leora and the council. He knew the council respected results, but he also knew some of them still doubted humans. He walked through the palace corridors, the soft hum of the lights guiding his way. Leora met him in the main hall, her robes glowing faintly under the artificial sunlight. She reached out, not to touch him, but as a signal to walk together. "You are ready?" she asked. "I think so," Ethan replied, trying to hide his nerves. He had prepared the simulations and the stabilizers carefully. If they did not accept his plan, his reputation and the fragile trust he had earned could be lost. "Confidence is important," Leora said, "but humility is better. Remember that." They entered the council chamber, a vast room with high ceilings and walls that shimmered like water. The council members were already seated, watching the human approach. Some nodded politely, others glanced at him with skepticism. Ethan took a deep breath. "Your Majestic Queen, honored council members," he began, "I have studied the energy crystals and the city's power grids. I believe I have found a solution that will stabilize and enhance your energy systems." He moved to a table and placed his device, a small stabilizer, in the center. "This device will align the crystals more efficiently and prevent energy loss. It uses a simple feedback system that adjusts the crystals automatically." A council member with green skin and long, delicate fingers leaned forward. "And you expect us to trust this human device? Our engineers have tried and failed for decades. Why should we believe it will work?" Ethan met the alien's gaze. "Because it has been tested. I ran simulations and observed the results. I understand your crystals, their flow, and their weaknesses. This is not a guess. It is a method built on careful observation and engineering." Leora watched him quietly. Her presence was calming, but also made him aware of every word. She could sense tension in the room, even though she could not see the council's expressions. Another council member, an older alien with silver hair, asked, "And what makes you so confident, human? Many species have failed where humans succeed." Ethan smiled slightly. "Humans are different. We think in ways others might not expect. Sometimes a fresh perspective is what is needed. I may be new here, but I have studied your systems carefully, and I understand the problem." Leora nodded slightly. "I have faith in him," she said. The room grew quiet. Her words carried weight, even among the skeptical council members. Ethan connected the stabilizer to the crystal array and activated it. The crystals glowed brighter, their energy flowing smoothly through the network. A faint hum filled the room, a sound of energy balanced and stable. Lights that had flickered for weeks now shone steadily across the chamber. The council members were silent for a long moment. Then, one by one, they began to murmur among themselves. The alien who had doubted him most frowned but did not speak. Leora stepped forward. "This is remarkable," she said. "The human's work has succeeded where we have struggled for generations. He has shown skill, patience, and understanding." Ethan bowed slightly. "Thank you, Your Majesty. I only wish to help." Leora's gaze softened. "You do more than help, Ethan. You prove that humans are capable of much more than many believe. That is important for my people and for the future of our alliance." After the council meeting, Leora asked Ethan to walk with her in the palace gardens. The sun was now fully risen, casting soft shadows across the glowing plants. "You surprised me," Leora said, her voice quiet and thoughtful. "I expected a human to struggle, to make mistakes. But you adapted quickly and found solutions others could not see." Ethan shrugged. "Humans are good at finding ways to survive. We notice details others overlook. Maybe it's not magic, just observation and thinking carefully." Leora smiled faintly. "Observation and careful thinking are valuable, yes, but courage matters as well. You have courage, Ethan. That is rare." They walked in silence for a moment, listening to the soft hum of the city in the distance. Ethan sensed her awareness of everything around them, even without sight. He admired her strength, her intelligence, and her ability to understand people. "You must understand," she said, breaking the silence. "Not all of my people trust humans. Some still doubt your abilities. They see only your species' physical weaknesses, not your mind or your heart." "I understand," Ethan said. "I am not here to prove anything to them personally. I am here to help. But if they judge humans only by appearances, then they will be surprised, like you were." Leora laughed softly, a sound like wind through silver leaves. "Yes, they will be surprised. But more than that, I am surprised." Ethan glanced at her. "Surprised by what?" "By you," she admitted. "By your skill, your courage, your patience. I did not expect a human to show such qualities. Perhaps I underestimated your kind." Ethan smiled. "I hope I can change that, not just for myself, but for all humans." Leora paused, considering his words. "You may do more than change opinions. You may inspire my people to see value where they have doubted. That is a rare gift." As the days passed, Ethan continued to work on stabilizing the city's energy systems. He repaired failing crystals, designed new stabilizers, and trained a few of the palace engineers in human methods. Slowly, the council began to accept him. Some were still wary, but they could not deny his results. One evening, after a long day of work, Ethan returned to the palace quarters exhausted. He found Leora waiting for him. She had prepared a simple meal, alien food he had never tried before. "You must eat," she said firmly. "Even humans need rest." "Thank you," Ethan said, sitting down. The food was unusual, but surprisingly good. Leora watched him carefully as he ate. "You have worked hard. I admire your dedication." Ethan looked up. "I do not mind hard work. It is worth it if it helps people." Her voice softened. "You think differently from many humans I have heard about. You do not seek only reward or recognition. That is rare." "I suppose we all have choices," Ethan said. "I choose to do what is right, even if it is hard." Leora nodded slowly. "Yes, that is why I am beginning to trust you, Ethan. Not only your skill, but your heart. That matters more than you realize." As they finished the meal, a message arrived from the council. A neighboring planet had requested aid, fearing an energy crisis. Ethan studied the data and realized that if he applied his methods, he could help them stabilize their systems as well. "This is a chance," he said to Leora. "We can prove humans are capable not just on this planet, but across systems. If we succeed, it could change how aliens see humans forever." Leora considered this. "You are ambitious, human. But ambition is not bad if paired with skill and care. I will allow you to lead this effort." Over the next few days, Ethan worked tirelessly, preparing a plan to travel to the neighboring planet and assist them. He tested his stabilizers, trained a small team of trusted alien engineers, and coordinated logistics for the journey. When the day came to depart, the palace gathered to see him off. Some council members nodded in respect. Others watched skeptically. Leora stood beside him, her hand brushing lightly against his arm. "You will do well," she said quietly. "I believe in you, Ethan. Not all will, but I do." Ethan felt a warmth he had not expected. Her trust meant more than he could say. "I will not disappoint you," he promised. As the starship lifted off, Ethan looked down at the glowing city below. It had been only a short time since he arrived, but he had already changed the course of this civilization's energy future. More importantly, he had begun to earn trust, not just from the council, but from the monarch herself. He realized that humans were capable of more than many species expected. It was not strength alone that mattered, but intelligence, courage, and perseverance, and perhaps, he thought, This was only the beginning of what humans could achieve among the stars. Leora watched from the palace balcony as the starship disappeared into the sky. She could not see it, but she felt its presence leaving her world. And she felt a strange, growing sense of curiosity and admiration for the human who had surprised her so completely. Ethan's journey had only just begun, but already he had made his mark. And in the quiet moments, Leora wondered how much more a human could do, how far they could reach, and how deeply they could change the world around them. The starship glided silently through the violet sky of the neighboring planet. Ethan Miller stood at the observation window, studying the landscape below. The planet was smaller than Queen Leora's, with jagged mountains and rivers that glowed faintly in the dusk. From the data he had received, the energy crystals here were even more unstable than those on Leora's planet. If he failed, entire cities could collapse into darkness. The alien engineers who accompanied him looked nervous. They had been trained by Leora's council, but none of them had worked on a human-designed stabilizer before. Many whispered among themselves, clearly unsure of the human's methods. Ethan knew he would have to prove himself again. "Do not worry," he said, trying to reassure them. "This is not magic. It is observation, calculation, and careful work. If we follow the steps, it will succeed." A young engineer, Nira, looked at him with wide eyes. "We have never seen a human work like this. I hope it will be enough." "It will," Ethan said confidently. "Humans are good at solving problems when others cannot. You will see." The ship landed softly in the capital city. Ethan immediately began to inspect the crystal arrays that powered the city. The energy was flickering, and some areas were dark. He could feel the instability as he moved through the streets. Children played near the edges of glowing fields, unaware of the danger. He called the engineers together. "We need to work quickly. The crystals are failing, and the population depends on us. I have a plan to stabilize them, but we must follow it carefully." For the next several hours, Ethan and the alien engineers worked side by side. He showed them how to connect the stabilizers, how to adjust the crystals, and how to monitor energy flow. Some of the engineers were skeptical, but they could not deny the results. Slowly, the energy stabilized. Lights returned to the streets, and machinery that had been dead for weeks hummed to life. Just as Ethan was checking the final array, alarms blared across the city. A nearby mountain range shook violently, and a bright light flashed across the sky. Ethan rushed to the observation platform with the engineers. "What is happening?" Nira asked, panic in her voice. Ethan studied the readings. "It's a natural crystal surge. The planet's energy cores are unstable. If it reaches the city, it could destroy everything." The engineers looked at him in fear. They had never seen a surge of this magnitude. Ethan knew he had only minutes to act. "Listen carefully," he said. "We must redirect the energy surge through the stabilizers. It will require precise timing and coordination. Trust me, and do exactly as I say." He worked quickly, adjusting the stabilizers and connecting them to the city's main crystal arrays. The surge arrived moments later, a wave of raw energy that crackled through the city. Lights flickered and the ground trembled. Ethan stayed calm, guiding the engineers and giving instructions. The surge passed through the stabilizers, and slowly, the city's energy normalized. The engineers watched in awe as the stabilizers absorbed the excess energy and redirected it safely. The children playing nearby cheered as the lights returned fully. Nira turned to Ethan. I did not think it could be done. You saved the city." Ethan smiled. "It is not me alone. It is all of us working together. That is the human way. We solve problems and protect others, even in danger." Word of his success spread quickly. The city leaders invited him to a council meeting, where they praised his ingenuity and courage. Even the most skeptical engineers now respected him. Humans, they realized, were not weak or fragile. They were clever, adaptable, and brave. While Ethan celebrated with the city leaders, his communicator beeped. It was Queen Leora. "Ethan," she said, her voice calm but urgent. "I have been monitoring your work. I knew you were capable, but even I am surprised. You have handled the crisis well. But there is something I need to discuss when you return." Ethan's curiosity grew. "What is it, Your Majesty?" "Not now," Leora said. "When you return, prepare yourself." The words left Ethan unsettled. He wondered what could be so important that the Queen wanted to speak in private. But for now, he focused on finishing his mission. The following days were busy. Ethan trained more engineers, repaired failing arrays, and stabilized the planet's energy systems. Everywhere he went, he demonstrated not just skill, but patience and understanding. Children followed him through the streets, watching in wonder as he repaired machines and adjusted crystals. Adults whispered about the strange human who could solve problems no one else could. Finally, his work was done. The city thrived and the people celebrated. Ethan prepared to return to Leora's planet. The engineers and leaders thanked him repeatedly. "You have changed how we see humans," Nera said, bowing. "Your courage, intelligence, and calm under pressure, it is remarkable." Ethan smiled. "Thank you. Remember, it is not about being the strongest. It is about thinking, adapting, and working together." As the starship lifted off, Ethan looked out at the planet below. The cities glowed brightly, a testament to human ingenuity and teamwork. But he could not shake the thought of Leora's message. What could she need to discuss that was so urgent and private? When he returned to Leora's planet, the Queen was waiting for him in the palace gardens. The twin suns had set, and the soft bioluminescent glow of the plants lit the path. Leora stood silently, her presence commanding yet gentle. "You returned safely," she said. "I have heard of your success. You have proven yourself not just to my council, but to an entire planet. Humans, you are more capable than I imagined." Ethan bowed slightly. "Thank you, Your Majesty. I only did what I could. The people needed help, and I was able to provide it." Leora stepped closer, her voice softer now. "It is more than that. You think differently, act differently, and yet you inspire loyalty and trust. That is rare. Not many could do what you have done. I am impressed, Ethan Miller." Ethan felt a strange warmth. The Queen, who had seemed distant and formal, was speaking with genuine admiration. "I am honored, Your Majesty. Your trust gave me the chance to show what humans can do." She paused, her hands folded in front of her. "There is something I must admit. I expected a human to be clumsy, perhaps fearful. I thought humans relied only on strength or numbers. But you are careful, precise, and brave. I did not expect to feel respect or something more." Ethan blinked, surprised. He had never heard the Queen speak like this. "Something more?" he asked carefully. "Yes," Leora said quietly. "Your presence. Your skill. It shocks me. I did not expect to feel this way about a human. I have spent my life leading my people, but you have made me see humans in a new light. Perhaps I underestimated your kind completely." Ethan's heart raced. He had not anticipated this conversation. "Your Majesty, I do not know what to say." "You do not need to say anything," she replied. "I only want you to know that your actions, your courage, and your mind, they have surprised me, and perhaps in time, you will surprise me even more." The moment was quiet, filled only with the soft hum of the palace gardens. Ethan realized that he had not just proven humans' capabilities to alien engineers or leaders, but to one of the most powerful beings in the galaxy. And he had done it without arrogance or force, only through skill, patience, and careful thought. "I will continue to do my best," he said finally, "not to impress, but to help, and to prove that humans can rise to challenges no one expects us to face." Leora nodded, a rare smile touching her lips. "That is all I could ask. But know this, Ethan Miller. Your presence here has changed more than just energy grids. You have begun to change perceptions, and perhaps even hearts." Ethan looked at her, understanding that his journey was far from over. Humans had shown their strength, but more importantly, they had shown their potential. And as he gazed into the soft glow of the gardens, he realized that his connection with Queen Leora was growing stronger, built on trust, admiration, and something he had not anticipated, something quietly powerful. The night ended, but the bond between human and monarch had begun. Ethan knew challenges lay ahead, but for the first time, he felt that humans, his people, could achieve anything, even in the vast, complex worlds of alien civilizations. And perhaps, just perhaps, he had begun to shock even a blind alien monarch with what one human could accomplish.